Welcome back to Siesta with Suki. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, I appreciate your time and your energy and your thoughts in being with me here on this podcast. Today, I have a special guest. All my guests are special, but this guest is so special because we're going to talk stuff I love to talk about. We're going to talk about the economy, we're going to talk about money, and we're going to talk about solutions. What can we do? And most importantly, I think for me, is when sometimes we talk about the vision, but when the vision has become reality, that is beautiful to be there and see that, and to be a part of seeing what's the future vision. So without further ado, now I'm probably gonna say this wrong, but you know it's a work in progress, right? We are with Marco Tura. Okay, yes, I did it, yay. And I have to tell you how I have to remember this, okay? So you're gonna remember this easily. So Marco is from Italia. And so my mind said Marco Polo and turismo, so I'm gonna show this to you. You have to like roll your R's. So anyway, when English is your language, even French, the R's don't roll, right? So how do you start learning to roll the R? So I watched this whole YouTube thing where they were like, grrr. So before I have to roll my R's, I literally go grrr, and then it's Marco Tura. See, there we go. There's a little trick for you. So without further ado, Marco, bienvenido. Thank
Muchas
you.
gracias, muchísimas gracias. Yeah, I'm an Italian and Italian Mayan.
Italian Mayan. Dígame, tell me what this means.
I think I have a lot in common with the Maya culture.
Okay.
Especially for the peasant culture. My grandmother, my grandfathers, and even my parents were farmers.
Okay.
Working the land, and so for me, I'm here to promote and defend the culture, the pre-monetary culture.
Okay.
Because I see a huge difference before the money arrive and after the money arrive. And it's extremely disaster.
Well, you're taking us all the way to the end. So we already know how the vision came about. But we are going to start in the beginning. So you were born in what town in Italy?
In Feltre.
Feltre?
That is a very small village, but it's sometimes it's also a town.
Okay.
Because in only 20,000 people.
Okay.
But it's the biggest in 30 kilometers around.
Okay.
So all the people from the mountains were coming down to Feltre.
Okay. So you were kind of like the city.
Yeah, exactly. We were living in the center.
Okay.
So the feeling, but my family has a house in the village, in the periphery, 15 kilometers from Feltre.
Okay.
In the countryside.
Okay.
So it was good for me to have both culture, the city center and the country life.
Okay. So what do you do when you're a young child? You're 5.
No, the good things with my father was that he starting with the tourism.
Okay. So all that time ago?
No, because he started, the tourism arrived
okay.
in the 80s in Italy. So my father, in the 70s, had to bring the family to the seaside.
Okay.
But after 3 seasons in the 3 sides, my father was very upset because he was bored to stay in the hotel near the beach doing nothing. So after he decided, instead to go to the hotel by the beach, we moved all the family close by where he was working.
Okay.
So we were staying 3 months in the seaside, not 2 weeks or 1 week.
Okay.
And my father was able to work from Monday to Friday, and then the weekend join the family. But not only the weekend, also during the evening.
Okay.
So for my father was fantastic because he has the family close by.
Yes.
And he asked to the company to pay him more because I don't need that you pay me the hotel and the dinner.
That's true.
Because I moved
to my family.
To my family.
Yes.
Because my mother was a housewife.
Yes, like housewife.
Housewife.
Yes.
So all the family was moving in the summertime to different villages, town in the coast of Italy.
Okay.
So for me it was fantastic.
Okay.
Have this experience to move in different places, stay to the beach.
And meet different people.
And then meet and know different truth.
Yes.
Because when you see and you stay living when they're talking about it, I was remember that the version is different. So this was the first things. Then it make me the idea and the passion of traveling.
Okay.
Traveling, because it's the best.
It is, and I'm so glad you mentioned that because sometimes I will talk to people. I talk to people all the time. And sometimes people talk about even tourism here in Oaxaca. And one of the things that I always say is the tourism is not just about the tourists. It's actually about the people here who get to share their Oaxaca with the people around the world and get to be a part of changing their lives. So you are the kid of someone who earned from tourism, and that tourism actually affected the way you saw the world and ultimately your life. And we'll talk about how you ended up here in Oaxaca. But it's just interesting to see that the childhood of the people coming to you actually affected your viewpoint of the world. So I'm gonna take you, we're gonna go past 5, we're gonna bring you into, you're a teenager. At this point, do you know what you want to do? Do you think you know what you want to do? What are you thinking?
So I went to study accountant.
Okay. Oh, this is such a good field. Accountants are great. Can we say this for like a second? It may seem boring and whatever, but seriously, we need accountants. Okay, so you studied accounting. This is great. No, I'm telling you, this is
because I
fantastic.
love mathematics.
Yes. Okay.
And so this, but then before the year ended finishing, there was the Italian 90, the football world championship in Italy.
Okay.
So a friend of mine found a hotel. We went to Rimini to see the football, the feeling, not the stadium, the atmosphere. But then stay in this hotel, they came in the animazione turistica. So the people that was working to help tourists to enjoy them.
Ah, okay.
So the people working there, they were knowing people. Enjoy because they were knowing tourists and play with tourists and be paid.
Okay.
So let me explain how I want to do this. Accounting can wait.
We lost accounting. Oh, accounting lost
Yeah,
you to the
lost it.
people. Okay. That's okay. We still love accounting. It's okay. Because you still came back to the numbers, so it stayed in your heart, so no worries. Okay, so you realize you feed off the people. People are paying you to talk to and be nice to. And
enjoy.
Can you imagine? I know. This is a great thing. So
I start working with this field, but then the military service forced me to go back to my own town.
Okay, so explain to me military service, because I don't know how this works.
In Italy, until the end of the last century, people was obliged to do 1 year in the military quarter.
Okay. As soon
1
as you
year.
turn 18, or how?
From 18 until you finish the school.
Okay.
If you go to the university, you have to do it after finish the university. You can have 23, 24, 25.
Okay.
But then if you go to the university, you maybe try to skip it.
Okay.
But I didn't go to the university.
Okay.
So for me, it was not... But then I said, I can use it to get some money. I tried to be a police, a fireman, a financer, but I didn't have special friends. So I do the normal service.
That's okay. That's everywhere.
So
You
very
get special
exploited.
friends.
But it was like being in a jail.
Really? Okay.
Like be a year in a jail. And the crime, I did it, was to be an Italian citizen. That was the crime. But I learned something is very important for me, freedom. I learned the freedom, and I promised to myself that the freedom has to be the most important things.
Well,
And then the other thing
we
I
will
learned...
salute to that.
Salute, cin
Yes.
cin.
So I say salute to you, but tell me what we say in Italian.
Salute.
Salute.
Salute, salute.
Salute,
I learned the freedom, and then I learned the way to manipulate yourself.
Ah, we have to do a second salute.
Yeah,
Okay.
because this give me, because I understand it was so easy to manipulate myself. In which way? I moved the watch 2 hours advance.
Okay.
So instead to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, I wake up 8 o'clock in the morning. Instead to go to bed at 11 o'clock in the evening, I was to go in bed at 1 a.m. in the night.
Okay.
And this me, I know I moved.
You moved the...
But it gave me, it was magic. It gave me a lot of power because when you wake up, okay, it's time to...
It's time to wake
because
up.
I was working with tourists, going to bed at 3, 4 o'clock in the night.
Okay.
And then I was in a place full of women or girls.
Oh, it
and
must
I
be so
moved
terrible
to a
for
place
you. Oh my goodness.
full of men.
Oh no. Oh, I can understand. Oh yes.
So that you can understand.
Yes.
I have something.
In
The
your heart.
state is
Oh,
my
yeah.
enemy. The
Okay.
state is definitely my enemy. This was a second proof because growing in the countryside,
Mm-hmm.
my father, my grandfather explained. I understand that the state, it was a system that just exploit you.
Okay.
So-
So being from the countryside, people felt like the state was already exploiting the people anyway.
It's funny because you pay a lot of taxes,
Mm-hmm.
and then the taxes go to the city center,
And doesn't
not
go
to the
back
countryside.
Yes.
So I then moving to live this summer until the year of 18. So we moved to live in different parts of Italy, and then it was a different way of tourism. Instead of pay expensive hotels, we pay a rent in apartment.
Okay.
Instead to pay in the restaurant expensive bills. My mother cook.
Ah, I see.
So it was a cheap way to travel, enjoy life. So then working in the tourism, it was for me perfect. Then I was able to go in holiday when low season.
Yes.
When the hotel was cheap, when
That's
the
true.
travel,
And
when
there's
the
not a lot of people
airplane was
there,
cheap, when there was no
yes.
people. So, and you make you work when the other people are enjoying.
Yes.
So it makes you different from the society.
So walk me through the timeline. So first you start working in the tourism. There are all these beautiful women, and then you have to go to the service for the
Yeah,
year.
but it was only 2 weeks working the tourist, the military service
Oh, it
arrived.
was only 2 weeks. Oh.
Yeah, it was really
Oh.
terrific.
But this was
not terrific. It was
impactful.
best.
I can see. This was
Can you
painful.
imagine? I was 21 years old. I was just be quiet. So that way, and then you have 1 year to thinking,
Okay.
and I waste totally. It was doing likely at the beginning of the military service. I was an athlete. I was
Okay.
training.
Okay.
So the awful things. Why I'm here to do, and then I was waiter. Then I moved from waiter to washing up, because I was serving before first the women and not the general.
Okay.
So they classed me, and then this is was my problem. I end up cleaning rifle.
Oh, rifles. Okay.
Cleaning rifle.
I thought you
That
said
was
reefer
my
for a
military
second.
service. A really awful year.
Okay.
I didn't help the community absolutely in nothing.
Okay.
And I learned nothing. But after I understand that I
learned
learned
freedom.
the most important thing,
Yes.
freedom, that the state is your enemy.
Okay.
And then you can help yourself manipulating yourself.
Okay. These
So
are
I
good
finished the
lessons.
military service. Wow. I was working in Egypt, France, Greece, Italy, in the seaside, and in the mountain. And I was paid.
Okay.
I was enjoying life, meeting people, play, stay in the beach. It was traveling. Then when I was working in Egypt, 3 months in the cruise, I asked, can I wait 2 weeks to go back to Italy? So move my plane ticket to back. Yes, if you want to stay longer. I said, no, 2 weeks is enough. Then I waste all the money I get, waste it here. That's, if I think, the most mistake I've done, that was.
Okay.
Because traveling in Egypt, Jordan, and Israel for extremely cheap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the hub, for example, it was $1 a night
Oh, wow.
to sleep. Then I was fantastic. I went to Jordan, to Petra, when it was not known in 1995.
Okay.
We are talking of 1995. Then I entered to Israel, just the beginning of the war.
Okay.
So I get the experience of the war, and traveling is the best way of learning, because what you learn in the university is theory
Yes.
in the school.
That's right.
And most of this theory are dogmas.
Yes. That's
And
exactly
the dogma
right.
is
They want-
something true that had never been demonstrated. So it's something true.
Exactly. Yes.
Kind of true.
Kind of true.
And when you travel, you speak with the people. You see the thing, a real thing. Also, when I went to, because then I traveling in this way in the tourism, I have friends, a lot of friends in Italy, in Feltre, and one friend, Ruben, was studying in Bologna, and he went to do 1 year abroad in Manchester with the Erasmus project. So I said, what? Explain me something like this. Explain me, Ruben, please. So I was working in a Burger King in London. It was quite interesting. In the winter, in the kind of in some months, there was no job in the tourism.
Okay.
Because they work in tourism summertime.
Yes.
And then from Christmas to Easter. So there are some months that you have no time, you're not working. So, but not going to England. I was already been, go back to England. So I was working at Burger King. They despite me.
They fired you?
They fired me.
Oh, they fired you. Aw.
Because for
Shame on Burger King. Why did they fire you? Tell me.
because for the third time I called them. I'm not working this week.
Okay, well.
Today.
Yes.
So they make me 1 week, suspended me 1 week.
Okay.
And I realized that during this week I was suspended. I moved from live to the hostel to a refugees.
Oh.
So I moved to a place where I was to pay what I have to pay to a free place.
Okay.
Because these Algerian refugees I met in a cheap English course.
Okay.
And he told me, I have a spare bed in my apartment. Spare bed in your apartment? Let me see. Because England was a paradise. England was a paradise. You arrived there before 1994. That you will have benefit employment, a benefit house. So the queen pay you. Everyone was receiving this.
If you were a refugee?
No,
Oh, just everyone?
just normal, normal,
Okay.
just a person. But then the law changed the 1st of July, 1994.
Ah, okay.
So that was for me a problem because I arrived in November 94. I go back. Okay, let's go to get a benefit house, a benefit employment. Because the Spanish people I met there, they was having training, English course, then all the discount for people and employment. They were meeting with other people. It was fantastic. And then everything was the Queen pays. The Queen pays.
No wonder she was so popular.
And then there was an artist, musician, because also not only people that do nothing. Because studying accountant when I was in England, I realized what I able to do in nothing.
Okay.
Because which kind of job I can apply? What can you do? Nothing. And then I turned out working as an Italian chef.
Okay.
Because of the fake curriculum.
Oh, no.
A fake curriculum. Because when I went to the travel agency, job agency,
Okay.
they told me, which kind of experience do you have? Well, I was washing up. I was washing up in the Dolomite Mountains.
Okay.
Washing up. Washing up in the waiter in a helping cooking helper in a spaghetti house. And he told me there are a lot of spaghetti house here in England, so they cannot check it. Okay, they put me 6 months of spaghetti house. Well, okay. So they called me, oh, there is an employment as a chef in an Italian restaurant. I work as a chef. Well, and you have to think that this was in 1991. I was 19 years old. I haven't prepared a single plate, never. Because as a man, in a peasant culture, kitchen was forbidden for me.
Okay.
There was my grandmother, my mother, and my sister in the kitchen. Me and my brother, we were in the field, in the wood, cutting wood, growing. There was a separate. So I ended up working as a chef. So the night before, I remember with Ruben, looking with the menu of the pizzeria, of the restaurant, what kind of ingredients that you have to mix. So at the lunchtime, they helped me preparing. And then in the evening, I was alone. it was a kind of disaster. So the day after I arrived in the restaurant, and they asked me, "But did you never work in the kitchen?" And okay, you can help now cleaning the refrigerator, this thing, and you are fired. But but unfortunately, because if we have more clients, maybe you can help you to find a place here.
Okay.
And for me, it was very good because it was the 29th of July. I'm crazy with date, so I love mathematics, and I'm crazy with date. This 29th of July, 1991, there were a special concert in England, in London, in Hyde Park. Free concert of Pavarotti.
Ah, wow.
So when they give me the news that you're fired, I can go to
yes,
the concert.
This is a good attitude to
See,
have to it.
the thing
And this is
is
pre-internet, because obviously, had the internet, you just go online and you try to figure out how to make the stuff and be the chef. So
no, but this was 1991. There was absolutely no internet.
Yes, no internet. Yes, internet came 5 years after that. So
See, no, but this was a real life.
Yes.
But then this was the way, and then also the tourism, they asked me to be a teacher of tennis. A teacher of tennis, but I just play a little bit. I cannot be a teacher of tennis. It's difficult to be a teacher of tennis. I can be a teacher of art.
Okay.
And so I work as a teacher of art, and I do art only for 2 hours in a course in Tunisia.
Okay.
Because there was a trap to enter in the tourist job. It's all about traps. But it was interesting because they asked me a lot of money. We're talking and I took like more or less like 2,000 euro or even 3,000 euro to stay 2 weeks.
You had to pay, or who's paying
I
that?
had to pay 2 weeks to go in Tunisia and work in the same way you are working because there were tourists there.
But I don't understand. Why do you have to pay to work?
Because it's
like a workers' trap?
It's a taller. They teach you how to work in a tourist resort.
I see. So it's almost, okay. So
It's
you're
a
paying
training.
them
It's a kind of
like a training.
voluntary.
Okay.
It's not only voluntary.
I mean, not quite, but
You paid.
You paid.
And a lot.
Okay.
So it's double explosion.
The exploitation. Okay. So
But in the
use
same way, you learn the job because
Yes.
they see you. You have to get in contact with the people. So I make different kind of a little bit art, tennis. I was doing a different job, different kind of sport to give me say you can do this, you can do this, you can be. So some years later, they called me. Can you came? We saw that you speak French. Yes, I speak French, and we need it's urgent art instructor. You have some bueno. So I went to be an art instructor because I was speaking French.
Oh gosh. Okay.
And my job was just showing to the people how you have to do. Because I was not throwing.
Okay.
So this is amazing. But then if you are good in contact with the people, you can do everything. Then some years later, a friend met him in Greece. Mm-hmm. He called me, Marco, come and work with us. We can do the same. We can exploit the other people. No, it's because you have to think that when you enjoy doing something,
Yes.
you can pay very little.
Yes.
So this was at the beginning of the 90s, this job in the tourist resorts, because tourism is something new, It's something new. Because people, for example, my grandmother traveled twice in Venice in 86 years old.
Mm.
Has traveled twice in Venice, that for the road in that time, maybe it will be 2 or 3 hours. So,
Yes, so tourism
never been to Rome, never been to Florence, never go out of Veneto. My grandmother, no? Very long history ago. So that's why it's very important. And my grandmother was living in my home. That was, for me, it's very good to have this mix of culture.
Yes.
So that's why I'm saying that I'm Italian Maya, because también the Maya people don't travel a lot. The Maya painter, that's why I moved in 2004 to study here, because all this knowledge in the tourism. Then I moved to do the Erasmus project because of this scholarship that I was giving for
Explain to the audience the Erasmus project.
It's a way to create a European culture, because nothing is given for free. Absolutely nothing is given for free. So there were a lot of money to force the students to go to abroad to study 6 months or 1 year. So you get a scholarship to go, and then they help you to make the exams, and then you were enjoying student life with the Spanish, English, French, Greece, East of Europe, African, Latin America. It was a fantastic, because you have to know that the university is a huge party. University life in the Western society.
This is true.
In the Western society.
Yes.
Because when I was working at Burger King and I quit the job, and then my friend invited me to go to Manchester because I have a spare room, because the guy from Thailand went back for Christmas and he left the room. Perfect. So I was living with refugees.
Okay.
And with the letter, I went to Manchester, and there I really understand the Erasmus project. They pay you to go abroad to enjoy, to a party.
Okay.
So I have to go to the university.
Yes.
I have to go to the university to get this scholarship.
Because the people are going to pay you to party.
So,
I mean,
exactly.
okay.
So I joined the September 96.
Okay.
In October 96, I went to the Erasmus project office. I'm here to ask to apply for the Erasmus project. Okay, they make you a first question. In which year of the university are you? I am in the first year. I just joined the university. Okay. So came back next year. What? What do you mean? Yeah, because it's a scholarship. You have to win the scholarship. So we need to test you. So the first year, you are a student. The second year, you apply the scholarship. So we can see that you are deserved to win the scholarship.
Makes sense.
Makes sense?
Yes.
So for me, this fucking... So the second, because I went to the university to win the scholarship.
To go to party, yes.
Not to finish, not to the piece of paper.
Yes.
Because I was working in tourist. I was already have a job. It was a good job. I didn't need a piece of paper. So the second year, I create my own project. Instead of Erasmus project, Marcos project.
Marcos project. Okay, tell us about Marcos project.
Marcos project was the name Marcos because of the subcomandante Zapatista. Because when I was in the jail in the military service, there was the Zapatista rebellion, the 1st of January 94. So stay in the jail. I have the newspaper there, so I can read it totally newspaper. So I was able to read all the movement, the Zapatist movement, and then there was the leader was called Marcos. And I am Marco.
Oh, you are Marco.
So and then living in the Dolomite, in the countryside, where you totally injustice. So someone that is helping against the system is turn you into a hero.
Okay.
So it was definitely a hero. So I decided to go to Mexico when I cannot stay. I cannot go to the Erasmus project in the second year.
So what year are we in right now that you come to Mexico?
In 97.
1997, okay.
Yeah, because in 96 I joined the university.
Yes, okay.
And in September 97, so the year after, I have to make my own project.
Yes.
I cannot stay...
And do all this work
No,
stuff I want you to do.
to stay only in Siena, for me, it was work. As I was having stay 3 months in one place and moving.
Yes.
That was working in tourism, to finish the season, summer season, go back to Feltre, my own town with my family, try to make a trip, go out of my parents. So I was traveling in Europe. I was living in Sevilla. After going to live in London work, I also decided, no, let's change. Now let's go to Spanish. Because in Sevilla they make the exhibition, and I was buying a fantastic magazine, Gulliver. way of making, come era, idee e progetti per vivere meglio. In project, an idea for best living.
Okay.
So monthly. So in one number was every number that was moved to live in Australia, moved to live in New Zealand, moved, but not in Australia, in Sydney, in Perth, in different towns. In one, there was moved to live in Sevilla. But let's go there. And it was fantastic. I learned Spanish in 2 months.
Well, with Italian,
Going out,
of
having
course.
parties, and then also meeting Erasmus students in Sevilla. So it was the year after Manchester.
You went to the Erasmus, okay?
No, I went to Erasmus. I went to live.
Oh, well, you went to go to try to do the Erasmus, but then.
No, yeah, I went to live in Sevilla.
Okay.
So I applied at the university in Sevilla. Okay, let's do it. Let's study here. It was too late. It was November. It was able until 5 minutes. Now, for us guys, I knew I can stay hours talking about my.
No. I want to know because I'm trying to understand because I see.
How can I
understand
write
why
here?
you're in Europe, and I see. So, who tells you Mexico? Where does Mexico come up? How does this happen?
So, this was traveling in Europe, make me working out of Europe, away in the tourists,
Okay.
and then I was in 1994, and the television said, and the winner of the Olympic Games is Sydney, 1994.
Yes.
In the time I was working in tourists, I stand up and I promised, I watched the television, and I promised to myself, I'll be there.
Okay.
So for 6 years, I have a plan to go as a voluntary in Sydney 2000.
Okay.
Why this? Because in 92, there was Olympic game in Barcelona.
Yes.
And a friend of mine invited me there. I have an apartment. Come there. Okay, we went. When we arrived there, did you arrive? Of course, you invite me. And I, because this friend was inviting everybody, but only me and Palma, we went there. So we spent fantastic time during the Olympic game in Barcelona. We were stay out of the stadium asking for free tickets. Because my friend that invited me was working for Zanussi, a multinational, and they give his father, the multinational give free ticket for the employers.
Okay.
So, but then his father, they have spare ticket, they didn't use, they have no time, or they were not interesting. So we know that there were a lot of free tickets around. So let's go and ask free ticket. So we were able to enter in athletic, baseball. Fantastic time. Parties everywhere in the town. Barcelona was fantastic. Amazing. So when 2 years later the winner was Sydney, I'll be there.
Sydney. Okay.
And so this was, if I'm able to go to the Sydney Olympic Games, this is gonna be the best curriculum I can use to work in the tourism.
Okay.
So that going there was a working project.
Okay.
Because if I were able to work for the Olympic Games, that's a fantastic way. I work for the Olympic Games.
Yes,
See?
this is
So I was sending application in 98, 99 when I was doing Erasmus in Sweden, because I was able to win the scholarship when nobody want to go.
Okay.
So
Nobody
easy.
wants to go to Sweden.
That was
I'm surprised.
north of Sweden,
Oh,
near
north of
the
Sweden.
polar
Oh.
circle.
Oh, okay. Oh my goodness.
Cold and dark.
Okay.
So I was able to win the scholarship.
Yes.
So when I was there, and there was 24-hour internet. So when in Siena at that time, they give you 1 hour internet doing a queue. In Sweden, to push the people to go there, they give me 24 hours. There was a card, you were able to enter in the university. The university, you can spend the night there.
Okay.
It was a computer room. You can even steal computers. It was unbelievable. But nobody's still there.
Okay.
It's something for Latin people. I was amazed. So then I was sending application for the Olympic game. No answer. But then who cares? I buy my with the money I got working in 94, 95, 96 before going to the university in the tourism. I have the money to go to Sydney to pay spare money, and then I also have 5 million lire, or say 2,500 euro. I was this because my mother decided to pay me the university.
Oh, okay.
That was something. We pay the university for your brother. We pay university for your sister. We pay university for you. Hey, okay. Oh, it's true. It's fair.
Okay.
So I have extra money. So they work. Okay, I study accountant. Let's play in the stock exchange. The 5 millions became 15 millions.
Oh, wow.
So it was, wow! So when I was in Sweden doing Erasmus, I was able to go 1 month in Portugal. Then for the Sydney, I went to Sydney. No problem of money. And then when I was in Sydney, I make a tour from Sydney to Cairns. 1 month, drop off, drop on. Wow, fantastic. The Barrier Reef, Coralline. And then I was working waiter. So I get money, and the 3-month ticket became 5 months ticket. Mm-hmm. And I went to Fiji Island, New Zealand. I buy a ticket to go to New Zealand, staying in New Zealand, doing an English conversation group. Because you have to start, you have to move, you have to be,
yes.
You have to not be afraid of life.
I can see.
And then things can happen. And so I was amazed. And then I was staying in New Zealand. We make the international events in the English conversation group. I prepare spaghetti carbonara.
Because now you can do spaghetti. You know,
yeah, because it's the cheapest and easier Italian recipe. Because easy to find eggs, easy to find bacons. So spaghetti carbonara. And in this party, this international dinner, I met people from the islands, from the Asiatic, from the Pacific Island. Mm-hmm. And they were so not scared to dance. Because the Western people, no, they are not, we cannot dance. They are ashamed. And then the food of the Pacific was fish. It was magnificent. Oh, so good. So the day after, I went to the travel agency. How much will it be to go to the Pacific Island? And they told me, there is a special offer to Fiji Island. Okay, I went back, I thinking in the night, I have to go. It's time to go. I have the time. I have the money. It's definitely go. There was a war in the Fiji Island.
You seem to show up on the wars.
There was the coup.
Okay.
But then it took me 3 days to understand it.
Okay, so you're there for 3 days before you understand.
No, I stayed there for 11 days.
Oh, you're 11 days? Okay, but the third day you realize you're at war.
Exactly. But the thing is that in these 11 days, nobody will tell me. I didn't know.
Okay.
And this makes you thinking. Say, the communication, the news, has a strong power in you. Terrific is a nice word in English. In Italiano, it's tremendo. Okay. You can use in both ways. Okay. But huge power. Communication, the media, has a huge power. Enormous.
Tremendous.
When you understand this, it makes you... Marketing is the power. 3 things you need. Marketing, and marketing. That's the power. Yeah. So I'm very glad to be here to promote Casa
Yes,
Kid,
but we didn't even get to Mexico yet. We're at a war in Fiji right now. How do we get to Mexico?
And we are in the year 2000.
We're in 2000. Okay.
And in 2 minutes, because this, I make...
Yes, we got to get to Mexico. Just Mexico, yes.
In the 2004,
okay.
And the teacher, Mexico, the University of Siena, tell me, you can go to Mexico to do the thesis. Okay. Wow! So, in 2000, that died my grandmother, and before dying, my grandmother tell me, do charity, Christian charity.
Okay.
I'm not Catholic because I see that it's a power, it's a manipulation. I have to help people with this. So in 2004, that my teacher Melis give me the opportunity to go to Mexico. Okay, I will go to Mexico to help the Maya, the Zapatist movement, so I can help. I can give the promise of my grandmother.
Okay.
So I came back here from 94 to 1910. Different years. I said 2007, I went to Cuba because I said instead to work to get 15 euro monthly, that I was earning in 1 hour in Siena working with tourists. I can accept it for 1 month in Cuba.
Okay.
But you cannot stay in Cuba if you are not Cuban nationality. So you have to get married. So 3 weeks was enough to say the mission was
Failure?
fracasso, fake, no fake, disaster, exit, the opposite of exit.
Well, just tell me in Spanish or whatever.
Un fracasso.
Okay, so it was like fractured.
La missione fracassata, missione fallita.
Okay, yes.
Fallida.
So, okay.
But stay in Cuba.
Failed mission. Got it.
I realized Mexico is my terra promesa.
Ah, okay.
My tierra
That's how we got to
prometida.
Mexico. That's how we got to Mexico.
That
Okay.
was because I was able to have been in the 5 continents at the age of 28 years old. With very little money. Very little money. I was able to have been to the 5 continents because I was working with
And you weren't
tourists.
afraid
They
of
paid
life.
me.
Okay.
So
2007, Mexico is the promised land.
I understand that Mexico. So in 2008 I came back.
Okay.
In the summer, in January, when I didn't have the money this winter to travel to Mexico, but an accident gave me the insurance, but not my insurance, of a hotel insurance.
Okay.
Gave me the money to me, and I used it to go to Mexico, and I met Antun, the Maya painter, and that's there. He understand that I was not interested in doing academic. I was not interested in money. So he opened to me the Maya culture.
Okay.
So I stand back, and then in 2010 I quit the job, the tourist job, because I finished the university. My mother gave me 80,000 euro, and instead to go and buy a little apartment, a part of a little apartment. No, I will work for free for the culture and for the tradition in Mexico.
Well,
And I moved to live in 2010 in Mexico.
We're going to salute to that because we're going to
14
end right
years
here.
ago.
Wow. That is our journey to Mexico. The promised land. And salute to your mom, too, for being part of all this and helpful. Okay, so we're going to end right here because this was great to just get to your journey, how we got here. And we can definitely see your passion. And this is really nice to have somebody talk to you about how they got fired a few times and you know, and can laugh and be good about it. And so this is good, and all the different things that you've learned. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Thank you all for staying with us on this first half. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to end here this first half because the second half, we are going to talk about Casa Kit. We're going to talk about Tumen. We're going to talk about Tumen. And we're actually going to talk about the new term that I coined this morning before we got here. So we'll talk about that too. We want to make sure that you have that all in one space. Thank you so much for joining me on this first part of the conversation. As you know, it's really important to me that you get to know the people behind some of the concepts and some of the places here in Oaxaca. And hopefully by learning a little bit of their story, you can feel the connection with them. So thank you so much for joining me, and see you on the other side. Ciao.